What's up everyone, welcome back to a new video on the Alien Algo channel. Today we will be getting into the markets again for the daily market outlook. Today is a Sunday, so I do think today is more important than yesterday. So without more having said, let's get straight into it. Right, when we look at, let's start with the dailies. I'll try to be a little bit more organized than just me scrolling through the time frames and showing my scenarios. Scenario we have been watching, of course, was this right here. But a little thing of concern, and can it play out? Of course, everything can play out in crypto. Will it play out? No fucking clue. But we have to watch both sides, of course. When you look at this picture, I expected this to be formed on like a higher time frame, so it could have also been something like this, where would you it's a bit more explosive right around it, but just this pattern in general, where you have your 1, your 2, where here everyone says market structure break and shits their pants again, and then they just go down the drain and sell everything, and then the market leaves without them. They buy back here again, the market dumps again, and they sell again, and then we leave them on the side a second time, where this is your third point. Now let's look at what I drew here. 1, 2, 3. You are seeing a clear rounding, just like this. So what of course is this bearish catalyst? This area. And to be precise, this 102k. So this is really crucial to hold. And what we were watching on that higher time frames, we mentioned this was our key resistance. Right here as well. If I do it more to the left, it's right there. So I'll quickly put it back to make it a little less annoying. And we simply see we managed to go above, found acceptance back below. We tried to reclaim it, and when we look at this on a candlestick basis, you see attempt number 1, attempt number 2, attempt number 3, and all of them failed thus far. Quick note, you do have 2 hours left on this daily candle, so what can we do? And I, of course, would be quite fine with this if this happens, because I don't like to be a bear, but when I have to, I will. So, this Monday low, I still find crucial. And then you will say, yeah, but tomorrow's Monday, so Monday a new low will be made. Yes, but then this will simply turn into previous Monday low, just like we did with this level. And you see how crucial this became later on, where we traded back below it and we just saw that flush right away. So this of course also happened here, where we got that bearish retest and we flushed right down. But when we look at the 15 minutes, this is of course the setup we were watching yesterday, where we take out these local lows, trade into this area with a pattern like this, which pretty much almost played out exactly like that. I planned this on the 30 minutes, so you can see this right here, boom, and we just go up, where we targeted that Monday high, Monday low I mean. This was not my target, this was my target. So, could I have made more? Yes. But, did I make money? Yes, also. So, let's get for this. I do think we should at least retest this, maybe once or twice. We just tease with this level, and then we just slowly grind down. Or we get a decently sized flush, and then this will become that level to hold. Quick notes, of course. We have this scenario. If we really get below this, I explained this concept multiple times already. With a deviation, you want to see it get quick, where this part needs to be explosive. So this can be slow. This needs to be explosive. It doesn't need to retest. It would be best if we do. But it can also just do something like this, where we go more explosive, try to retest, and we just fly straight up again. This will be the scenario to watch, and the bear case will be where we start consolidating and we just randomly flush down. Because this I would consider controlled setting. So these currently are those triggers. Like, either we want to see this current level hold, play it back towards that Monday low, and if it flips, we need to be looking at this area, since we already see here on this time frames. 1 rejection, 2, 3, 4, and you see this has been a quite interesting level in the past as well. On the daily, this of course is that crucial resistance area we were watching. So when we look at that 15 minutes, it's already turning green quite nicely. So I might have to be a little bit on the quick side with this video, but who cares? This is more the learning experience. How do I watch things? What are my triggers? And how do I want to play this? And when you see a similar pattern, you can just copy paste. So now that we have had BTC, I don't think they would take out these lows to do the same logic again that we played and planned here. I think they just send it back up to that Monday low, where we either reject and find acceptance back below again. As you can see, this Monday low also has these previous lows where we clearly broke down from and got that flush to the downside. And this I honestly wouldn't want to play. Even if it is given, I wouldn't take the trade based upon this, because I think if we sweep this, that we will sweep further before we continue back up. So for me, it would be either this to play right now, and then we watch what happens at that Monday low. So I want to go straight into ETH, and I of course had to add a little bit of education inside the video like usual. So when you look at this on a daily, it's still in quite a clear trend. When we look at this on a 4-hour, you're still I didn't mean trend, by the way, I meant range, but it's a bit later on the day. I'm not that sharp again. So when we get into this scenario here we wanted to see play out yesterday, was we take out these lows, we form a 1, 2, 3, and we go up, and this was my exit from the basis, of course, of that test of that Monday high, Monday low, right there. You see the same exact moment. So with that having said, we did not take out these lows, which I don't think we will, just like on BTC. And the critical point we are still trading right below is that 0.5 level. For me to be like more on the bullish side again, I do want to flip this 0.5 level. And otherwise we just play ping pong in between them, where we may get some flush to here and here. The same with Bitcoin. This part, the reclaim, has to be explosive, because otherwise when we get, for example, something like this, we sweep it and something like this starts to happen, it will most likely just be a rollover and we just go down. So these are the crucial points to watch at right now. This vital area and this vital area. So let's get the chart a bit cleaned up again. Let's go onto the volume analysis. Here we already drew this, where we see some rounding when we look at this on a higher time frame, because this is where I analyze my volume. Here we had this previous range where we did hold this value area low, which also was the higher point of continuation. So let me identify this range for the volume profile has been made from this point to this point. Wait, this point. So here it ended because it broke out from me, so I won't extend that. And what did we see, of course, on this move down? Because I do want to touch on this again, because if we get something similar, you have to be prepared, in my opinion. So when we look at this point, this move on the way up, you see I've drawn it from this point all the way to this point. And I ignored this tiny bit of price movement. See, this is exactly what we draw back then. But let's remove this. So what did we see here? I hope you guys remembered how I talked about the low volume, because I won't be explaining it really deeply, but low volume we usually slice through. So with low volume I mean a little part like this. When I talk about high volume, I mean a part like this or like this. So those are usually the areas you hold, and if you don't hold, you usually slice right through them. So let's say we did not hold this area, we almost immediately can look at the next high volume area, because there is a lack of volume here. And this is of course what we had on that way down. We went into that volume area high, we did not hold, straight down, right away. No remorse, just one big candle sliced right through it. Here we retested it. That volume area low again. Did not hold. Right to that next volume area. You see, this is literally just one candle slicing through this support in one take. What do we get again? A retest of that point of continuation with high volume. You are unable to break it. What do we get? Straight down towards this, where we had a little bit of a pause, as you can see. Right there. On the retest. But the thing I find most crucial is these parts. Where you have those voids usually don't hold. So, now let's go on the 4 hour. And let's just look at this. So this point, this profile right here, has been drawn from this to the price that just keeps getting expanded. And what do we see? We have that volume area high, volume area low. So these are your pivotal areas where if we do something like this, you could rotate back down. And if we move up from here, I most likely think we will do something like this, where this would make a lot more sense to me, where we reject off that volume area high first, get back into this high volume area before we continue up. But here comes the bearish part. This is your point of continuation. This was your previous value area low from this price action. It also included this. So this was your crucial range on the lower time frames, which, as you can see, this volume area high and the point of continuation are acting as a resistance in confluence, of course, with this high volume area. So we do have to hold this. But there comes the little catch. You see this wick already? I hope so, at least. We have some poor lows right here, which could get taken out in a very bearish scenario. But what would I expect if we go down from here? This. And then again, we want that reclaim. If that reclaim isn't fast, we most likely will just sweep more liquidity before we go up. So there, for me, are two vital points to hold, which is this area and this. If we don't hold this, look at this volume profile. And I will extend it even further, so we have this total move. And I'll quickly remove this. Let's say you would break down from here. There is a lack of volume, so there is a big chance of it not holding. There comes the next problem. This we really can't conclude as a lot of volume, and most of the volume was traded around here. With this, it shows this as your volume area high and this as your volume area low, but it really is not. So here I'm not looking at the value area high or the POC. Here I'm basically looking at the volume itself. Where are those spikes? Right around these areas. So now look to the right. 1, 2, and 3. So if we really break this level, this is your best hope. Where we see this and we go up again. Let me clean this shit up a little bit. Getting messy today, I see. Okay. So where we take out that low at 100k exactly. If we don't reclaim this, I do think we see some really lower levels like this. Excuse me. Doesn't look nice, but it is realistic. So we have to look out for it. And of course, as a trader, you look at both ways. So we do seem to be getting the bullish move towards the upside. And what is that crucial area? Of course, to flip that Monday low. So let's take E for a volume perspective. You see, I already drew the scenarios and drew the volume profile right here. If you guys want me to show it a little bit, it's compiled from this point, meaning this, because here we had this point of initiation for that move up. We had that retest, and we later retest this again. So I find these as your range lows, these are your range highs, so I draw the volume profile over this extended period. Now, since this is a real valid range, we do use those value area highs, POC, and value area lows. So, let's zoom in. You see the scenarios I already drew. And, of course, we do have to look for both sides. So, what can we get? We can either get a little bit below that value area low. As you can see, you can get deviations on both sides and just trade back into the range, where we have those rotations, deviation again, and you rotate back to that POC. So with knowing that and knowing this wick hasn't been taken out, this will be a lovely scenario, just like the one shown on BTC, and being like the not the worst, but not good as well. But it would be quite efficient, because in markets you want to take out these type of lows and continue up right after. But what do we again need? This reclaim needs to be explosive. And if this reclaim isn't explosive, and we, for example, do something like this, we get below it, and we start moving a little bit sideways, now I just expect it to roll over again. Because what do we want? We want this part to be explosive. So if this is not explosive and it starts rolling, I'm leaning more towards the downside, to be frankly honest. And when we look at the volume, there really is not any volume right around here. This is the scary part. So that would, if we really manage to get this scenario, so the most bearish variant, you have to be looking at these areas. And next up, if this doesn't hold, I do think that if we get back here, we should trade a little bit higher at minimum, where we really have some pattern like this. People will enter right on this level, getting all their stops around here again, and we just touch this, just like BTC did at around 88k from the top of my head. So these will be the scenarios I would be watching. So for now, it's just this POC. And on BTC, that Monday low is really crucial, and otherwise we will be looking at rotations to the downside to probably catch some longs around that 102k area. So watch out for Monday. Monday I will keep it a little bit shorter, but I wanted to add a little bit more info about those volume profiles, since I got the question a bit and I showed a couple ways where you can either look at volume inside a move towards the upside, or you analyze the volume within a range. And when it's a range, you do take these volume area highs and volume area lows more into account. But when looking at a profile like this, it's not really a range, you're just analyzing the volume inside of this move. So here, a value area low or a value area high is used for a range. So this is not a range, here we don't really acknowledge them. And here we only look at those high volume nodes and those low volume nodes. So with that having said, as I hope you liked the video, it was a bit longer than normal, but I had to explain these little parts because I find this to be quite important. So with that having said, guys, I hope you liked the video and keep trading. Have a nice day.